Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're hailing from. Welcome to another edition of the OpenShift Container Storage Office Hours. I am Chris Short, executive producer of OpenShift TV. I am joined by the one and only Michelle DiPalma from our illustrious storage team. And I'm very happy to have you here. I'm very happy that today's show might actually work out as planned, unlike 9 a.m. yesterday. Yeah, we'll see. So, okay, so wait, Michelle, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Michelle DiPalma here. So let's just briefly talk about the last show.
Certainly.
So that we were going to autoscale the Nuba endpoint and the MCG endpoint, and that did not work out so well.
No.
If you remember, we brought the cluster down.
Yeah, no, a million pods will do that. I realized in hindsight, it's like, wait, we've done performance tests. A million pods is way too much for one cluster. It's like, what were you thinking?
Well, at least no one complained. No one in the lab complained, so that's good. So so my bad. It turns out that can't do autoscaling with that particular version. It has to be on 4.7. So I thought maybe
so much better when you said that.
Right. I'm like, good, because it's not us. So I just wanted to put that out there. Maybe we'll do some sort of preview or something like that in a future show. But that was the reason. I was like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense because that's kind of what happened. So we're putting that issue aside. And if we do a preview of the new version or something, or we'll go attack that.
Yeah.
But
sweet.
Today I wanted to do something happy and successful. If it's okay with you.
Yay! Success.
Okay,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We love failure on the channel, right? Like, we totally embrace it, but it's always great when something just works.
Yes, every once in a while something should just work. So I have some OCS training.
Sweet.
Excuse me. I don't know. Yeah. So this is I just want to give you the setup. So let me share my screen and I'll show you what we have because I really, really, really like it. Hang on a second. Okay. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So a couple of things. I don't know how many people know that we do. Actually, OpenShift does workshops, but the storage team also does workshops. And the workshop is fantastic. This whole setup that you're seeing here is from my team. So a shout out to Annette Cluett and JC Lopez and Chris Blum and probably others that I'm not mentioning right now because I just can't remember.
Eric Jacobs on my team also helps. So yes,
okay.
Thank you.
So that this is an amazing thing. So I didn't actually do any of this. I'm just showing it to you because it's so awesome. And I regularly talk to either current customers or potential customers or anybody. Honestly, we're trying to open this up and do more of them. So this is going to, when you do the full workshop with us, our part, it's like 2 hours of quiet work where you really sit down and you just kind of learn and what have you. So I wanted to give you the setup, but I also wanted to tell everyone that it's actually open. So these materials are, yes, you can do this. You, Chris,
Me?
can do this in your cluster. Yes,
I can make myself smarter. Wow.
Yes, you can. So
what is the URL is the question.
So it's just this top piece up here. Can we send that out to people?
Yeah, go ahead. Feel free.
Okay, so a couple of things are going on just so you people get the setup here. So I create labs. I created one for the show. Inside the labs, there are like 2 links you need to care about. One is the actual, the familiar OpenShift console, and the other one is the dashboard for our lab. So I'm sorry. Please, so what happens here is you get you get a terminal and we get to actually access our lab this way. So it's really easy, like for anyone who wants to do this. And it's these pages you see here are where we actually create them and we PR them and test them. And then eventually they make their way into the actual lab. But they start here. So what's offered to you, the public, is actually slightly more advanced often than what is in the workshop. But we do both. So I'm not going to go through everything in the workshop here. I'm going to do it. I could, but I'm going to try and do it from here and cut and paste a little bit. And I want to walk you guys through, if you look here, this is the table of contents here, 3, 4, and 5. So we're going to create an application that's going to use Ceph RBD volume. Then we're going to do it with CephFS. And then at the bottom, can you see 5 here? Is this too small? Let me know if the font's too small.
I mean, well, like the table of contents font is small, but the majority of the page
right? Yeah,
right?
Okay.
If the audience, if you can't see it, let us know. We'll bump it up.
Let us know. So the idea here is I want to get through 3 and 4 so we can get to 5, which is PVC cloning and snapshotting.
Nice.
Which is, yeah, like it's, so that's the new stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of important, kind of got to know how to do it. So I think all of this is there. Let me see. Hang on a second. All right. So again, here's my OpenShift console for my lab cluster. Here's here's my terminal. It's like your jump host, your bastion host kind of thing. And these headings should look very familiar, right? Create a new OCP application, deployment volumes, Ceph RBD, that comes straight from here. So at this point, I'm set up. This is ready. If we go into it, it's got everything I need.
So
I've got
what is it? The operator?
Oh, OCS. Yes, the operators are all done. Well, because I thought about doing it for you, but it's like, you got to wait till the machine set expand. It takes a little bit of time. And it's not new. Like I was like, I want the new shiny object. So there, we have all of our dashboards set up here. We are ready to go. So I'm starting at the point where OCS is installed. And that is something you would do in training. You would actually go, that's what the first 3 sections are about, but we don't need to do it. So, all right. So from here, if you're in my, so notice you can download this yourself if you wanted to do it on your cluster. Everything's available. We really try to put everything out there, but I'm going to create this new app and then we're just going to start a walk through this lab. This is a very simple, what is this, Rails with like a Postgres backend and stuff like that. So when I click on this, so look, we don't even allow typos in our workshop. Because you'd be surprised at how much time you'll spend.
Oh, no, I know. I've built some of these workshops before. Like I built a workshop on metering and OpenShift. I was like, I really like this, but man, is this hard to code. But yes, you don't allow.
So there's typos. no typos. So obviously not the real world here. So I'm just clicking through all of these things. We're going to do an OC status. So it's got it. It's applied it.
Let's slow down a little bit. Let's make sure we tell people what we're doing here, right? Like you're creating a new project. Cool. Your database app. You're creating a new app, which is a Rails app.
A Rails app. And the whole point of this is so that we can show you, like Postgres comes up, it uses an RBD volume, and we're going to later on clone that volume. Like it's just to show you how this would flow. So here's the YAML from, again, totally open.
And please.
Yep. Oh yeah, tiny, right? Like you can't even. How's that? Better? A little bit better?
A little more.
A little more. Okay.
I turned 40 last year. I'm sorry.
I know. And that'd be icing going, right? Like, okay. So this is again part of training. Like you can download this, and this is just one of our demo apps. We have a few. There's another one in here. It's a photo album. Like just trying to illustrate a point, right? So here we go. I don't even know. Is this from Mr. Blum? I think it is. So here we go. For more information about this template, you can see. Can you see that? Actually, it's hidden behind. There's all kinds of info here, but we're not going to do anything too exciting with it. It's not. It's really just to illustrate all of our.
And I'm going to drop a link to the training repo in the chat for folks.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. Yeah. Like and certainly
like general knowledge stuff, right? Like
general knowledge stuff, and you could. This also later on becomes a unit test for you, right? Deploy this app, make sure the following things work with it. It should, it should work. It's fine. So, okay. So that's what's happening here. It got, we created the new project down here. We're applying that YAML file I showed you before. We're giving it a certain storage class and a certain volume capacity size. That's really what's going on here. And now, did I check the status? Okay. We look good. I think I did. All right. So let's see that the PVC is created. So, I mean, we could go slower and walk through all the PVC stuff, but at this point, I'm thinking everyone's kind of familiar with PVCs. It's kind of.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't assume that. Audience, like, are you familiar with how to create, persistent volumes, persistent volume claims? I'm having a hard time saying persistent this morning. So if you're not, clear on what those are, just let us know. We can walk through that. And, we'll push forward. And
also in this YAML file up here, like we're sending parameters that are setting certain variables, right? So if we look for storage class and volume capacity in here, it's going to be in here somewhere where it sets it, right? Like you can see it's setting a bunch of other stuff. What was it? Storage class. Was it underscore? There it is. So we're sending these things here, right here. It's happening. It's saying I want it to be created, persistent volume claim created like this.
Yeah, New Wazer says there's always it's always good to get a refresher. JP Dead asks, you have to have a PV before you have a PVC, right?
Well, so hang on. So I'm like all set up. Like I come prepared, okay?
Right, but the question is,
Yes.
do you need a persistent volume before you can make a claim?
So in this setup, go ahead. Sorry.
So like, yeah, if I have a claim and there's no volume there for it to claim something, it'll just sit there and wait, right? Until a persistent volume is created. So yeah, you kind of need to have that persistent volume set up before you can, have the claim actually claim something, but you can create the claim before the volume, right?
You can,
Yeah.
although right now we're all bound and everything. So I kind of came prepared. In that sense, we could back up further and start like fresh, but I was, in the interest of time, I had a few things done already.
Yeah, no worries. People are just trying to figure out, like, is it chicken egg? But it's actually like chicken and egg, right?
Right. So you're going to make a request from the storage cluster. The PVC is going to match it, and it's going to go off and take care of it for you. And then hang on. So we checked that the PVC is created. It is. Now this is the step that can take a little while. No, I think we're good, actually. How many completed do you see? Do you see 4 completed? 2 pods running. Yep. No, we're good. Oh, see what happens when we're talking? Stuff happens. Okay.
It's good stuff.
So this is so it gets the PVC binds and then it brings up the rest. So, right. So now it did whatever it was doing with Postgres and what have you. I actually don't know the details without looking at the YAML, but I would assume it's setting itself up and doing initialization and things like that. Okay. So ideally now I remember what this app does. My bad. This is the articles app. You'll see in a second. Okay. Cool. I was like, what does this app do? But this is what happens when you like do it too many times.
Naming
like, I don't
matters.
Which one
Yes.
So, yeah. So, okay. So let's go look at what this application actually did. Ta-da. I went and does everyone know how to do this? You get your route. What's really useful here? Look at that JSON path. See, this is like cool things my team does, so I don't have to think about it. Ooh, yeah. Like, all right. Let's go here and actually take a look. Maybe we'll upload some articles. Hang on a second. Ta-da! This is just it's like a very simple. Here we go. All right, and this is. I happen to know this.
Okay.
Oops, no, that's not right.
Is this like part of the workshop? Okay.
It's in the workshop, but and I think maybe I've got it wrong. There it is. Here, it's actually literally in the workshop. It'll tell you down here. No biggie.
Super secret. Yeah.
Yes. So the idea behind this is that you fill in articles and you're going to see your objects grow, right? So this is part of it. Again, I'm just trying to get to the cloning and stuff like that. So apologies, because I'm like, this is not the exciting part to me. The cloning and the snapshotting is more exciting.
You need to create some data to do.
You need to create some data. There it is. You can put comments on it. Maybe we can do another one.
Asking you to save your password because, of course, you want that password in your password safe.
I know, right? Why? That's what I always want. Let's see. Okay. And it's hiding. Hang on. I have to move your face to get to it to tell it not to save it.
Oh, heavens to Betsy.
All right. So hang on. So here we are. We've added something. We should probably add even more if we want to see more, but it's okay. Down here,
another one. Why not?
I like it. Want some comments?
I'm more data for the snapshotting. We don't want this thing to go too fast.
Yeah. No. It's all right. So.
Crap.
Toolbox again. So we skipped one section.
You kind of broke up there for a second.
Oh, did I break up? Am I back? Do you see me now?
Yeah, you are back. I don't know what happened exactly. I'm sure.
I don't know. That was weird. It was like a blip.
Yeah.
Can you see me? Can you see my
Jasmine? I can hear you. Everything's fine. It's just like you couldn't hear your audio for a second. It's very weird.
Oh, it's weird. I don't know what
you were moving and everything. Like I checked the streaming rig and everything.
So,
yeah. And it's happening.
Is that what happened? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, is it better? My connection cut out for a second.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. That's weird. It happened twice. That's not good. It's not going to be that kind of day, Chris. It's not. That's not a sign.
I mean, do I need to go make more sacacrifices? What? I don't know.
at the altar of the internet. Okay, so
demo gods, please.
They're hard to please. All right. So to go back into this toolbox, I'm going to actually add the toolbox. Hang on, I have to do a patch on a. You'll see there. Okay. I forgot that this was connected. Oh, hang on. No.
Storage
I want to go up. Dash patch is what I need. Let's go up. It's Toolbox. Is that what I'm looking for? Hang on.
Maybe for the OC patch?
Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
Right.
No, this one in particular. This just patches so that we have the Ceph toolkit, and then I can drop into it the way I need to. So that's really it. So okay, now I don't want this tools patch. Tools pod. I want this one. That's not the one I want. I want the other one. This one where we just store. Okay, so PVCs created. All of our pods up and running. We've created some articles because we like to here. That's an example output. We logged in. All right, hang a second. So I don't know if you know this, but when we're in the workshop, we're always like proving it's Ceph underneath. We go do something, and we're like, see,
No, really,
things change.
Ceph.
It's real. There's no smoke and mirrors here. It's actually Ceph underneath, but it's cute how we go back and we like prove, yes, it's Ceph. Look here, do a DF on it. You can see stuff growing and happening. So if I go back and I like, it is, and I think it also makes if you have Ceph experience, bring it. Like it's all Ceph underneath. You're not learning something new in that case. So I did speak to a customer recently where they had a lot of Ceph experience. So for them, it was really important to get like their tools, right? So So this is 7. If I go and add a bunch more articles, all of this stuff grows, and you can see here, you can see the volumes it's connected to. So that's the point of this section, is to really just show you like the app is incidental. It's just like, this is what's happening underneath. This is how your PVCs are being managed. This is how you actually go look at them and see what volume is connected here.
Very nice.
So we don't lie. We don't make this stuff up. So here, so now we have 2 RBDs. If you do the full workshop, you'll see in the beginning that you don't have them. And then as you progress, every time you drop back into the toolbox, you'll see more stuff. So it's like we go do things in the cluster. We see how it impacts storage, and then we go into stuff and just take a look. I think in practice, people don't generally need to go down to this level, but in the workshop, we want to make sure that it's there.
So question from Rapscallion Reeves here. Does OCS only work with Ceph? Could we use Red Hat Cluster? This is a loaded question.
This is a loaded question, and I'm on the newer side, so I may not be the right person to answer this. Okay.
To my knowledge, it works with Ceph. Like the OCS operator installs Ceph. It does not give you an option to install any kind of other storage backend.
Correct, but OCS 3.x was cluster.
Right.
So you cannot be on OpenShift 4.x with an OCS 3.x.
3.x, right.
So going to OpenShift 4 means, if you're bringing OCS along, which I hope you are, means changing out of cluster and into OCS Ceph. It was a big shift.
Yes.
So does that answer the question? So
yes, it's OCS is those 3 like upstream projects of Nuba, Ceph, and crap, what was the other one?
Rook.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's one of the 3 I always forget. Never fails.
And okay, can I do a plug for the next show? So
absolutely.
Okay, and then our next office hours in 2 weeks, I wanted to bring on hopefully someone from the migration team and go through an actual migration from OCS 3.x to 4.x, which means we're going to do it in his lab. It has you need at least 2 clusters, but it means actually migrating off of cluster onto Ceph and what that looks like and what tools are available. Fancy. Yeah, because I think a lot of people have this kind of question, like I'm on this, and or even the gentleman from the migration toolkit for containers team can talk to like what you need to think about before you migrate. Like all he does is migrations between OCS 3.x and 4.x. I thought it would be useful for people to hear. Yeah. So, and I'd also question like, why do you want to stay on cluster? Why not move to Ceph? I'm like,
there's a huge install base, right? Like I would imagine, right?
Of course.
Rapscallion Reeves, I'm assuming you have a lot of cluster hanging around. That's why you're asking. So
and migration is not an option, or too expensive, too time consuming. Yeah. So
let us know a little more. Maybe we can help you out more with that question, Rapscallion Reeves. And
come for a workshop. Contact me. Let's see if we get your hands dirty. If we can see what is needed from the cluster side, or what's important from the cluster side that you would, what's the comparison to the Ceph side, right? Like I'd love to do more direct, it's apples over here, it's oranges over there, that kind of thing, and how you get there. Okay, so moving on, because I'm trying to get to, let me get out of this, hang on a second. Trying to get to my cloning, hang on a second. Matching PVC, oh, okay, hang on a second. All right. So sometimes I like this because I don't always find it readily, and maybe this is because I've been working with the OCS training docs, but I find like I forget how to do this and I know it's here in training. So I encourage everybody, go look at the training materials. There's some very useful things like matching your PV to your RBD. Let's say you just need to, something's happened underneath, you're on-prem or whatever, and you need to be able to go from the PV and match it to the RBD. This is how you would do it. And you might find this on, like Stack Overflow, but it's also in OCS training docs, just how to remember how to do this quickly. I need a mapping. I need to know which particular RBD is having trouble or something along those lines. So
just out of
good
curiosity,
nuggets of information.
Your cluster does it have extra attached disks, or are you using like local,
Me?
Yeah, you like
this is an Amazon. No, it's
so you're pulling in extra disks from like GP2 or whatever grade disks. So Rapscallion is asking about his home lab essentially, so I'm just going to answer it in chat.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously for the workshops and stuff, they just let us do this. They have a whole setup, as you know, and lead. And I never seem to get a bill. So
it's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure I will now, but okay. So anyway, okay. So here also, if you dissect this is how you get the full RBD name. There's a little bit of so here, anyway, let me do this for you so you can have a look at it. So, but if you pull this apart, you can actually see how you're like using part of the name, and then you have to strip off some piece. So it's not as straightforward as it seems. So this is a good thing to know, just to have this in your toolbox about how to pull out the actual full name and pieces to attach to it. So you see how at the very end, there's a print for CSI volume dash, like there's certain things you just need to know about how to map from one to the other. This all exists. I don't know if this kind of information is located elsewhere, but it's definitely in our OCS training, and that is totally publicly available to everybody. I think this is a good nugget of information. You just want to store that somewhere and say, oh, I do know how to map this volume all the way back. I know how to get from a PV all the way back to the CSI volume.
Wherever you're watching this, bookmark it. And it'll be on YouTube forever, by the way. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So there is a question about the Ceph operator itself. Is it using the Rook operator? Does it like pull in the latest Rook operator, or are we doing this all ourselves for OCS?
No. So okay. So that's a good question. Let's go back here for a second. So that person should definitely, or whoever's asked, we should do like, I skipped the install because we've done installs so much, but think of it this way. So here's the world of OpenShift. And then inside of OCS is responsible for two operators, Rook, and the other one is Nuba. So Rook is going to go take care of Ceph, and Nuba is going to go take care of the multi-cloud object gateway and set up that service. So that's the way that's how I think of it. So it's OpenShift Container Storage, the operator, which then says, is everything ready for Rook, and let's everything ready for Nuba, pulls them in, and then they go off. So it's just a little tree, a little hierarchy. So Ceph would be at the bottom of that tree, and it's being managed day 1, day 2 stuff by Rook, and Rook in turn is being managed by the OCS operator. Does that make sense?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So it's very easy to set up. Like that's one of the nicest things about it, is that you don't do much actually. You can do it from the command line. In fact, another plug for our training. Hang on a second. No, not there. Is it here? CLI based install. So if you wanted to fully automate it, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I always do it through the web UI, but that's because I'm also presenting a lot. But yeah, you can totally do it through other ways, but it's really pretty straightforward. Any more questions?
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions actually.
Oh, okay. So shoot, let's do it.
Let's fire away.
Okay.
Is the new version of OCS, does it introduce any features for disaster recovery, like real-time block replication between two OCS clusters?
Wait, so glad you asked. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so number one, I'm really bad about keeping track of the features and stuff, so I know it does certain things, what's available for 7, but so I just take this with a grain of salt, just because I may not have the exact dates right and stuff like that. But we do have disaster recovery stuff coming up. And I should be able to demo that to you sometime soon. So I don't have any well, I guess we don't really show slides here anyway, but the answer is yes. And there are, so we have some PVC cloning stuff here, but there's like a whole conversation around OADP. Have you seen any of that stuff, Chris? Like
OADP?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah, not much.
Well, so there's, I think the way to think about it is obviously there's like regular, your persistent storage backup, right? And then there's what else you need. It's not sufficient to back up your persistent volumes. You actually have to know something about the apps, their metadata, the cluster itself, so that you kind of grow in how much you're backing up and where you're backing up to. So you grow in size, right? Like, are you really just doing, in a previous life, I did, where you rsync persistent volumes off to somewhere else, but then as you get more sophisticated, you realize that that's not enough. So OADP does all of that. That's, I believe, community now. I don't know what's going on there, but I know that OCS is involved because we have different levels of disaster recovery items, but they're not in training yet. So I think I need, give me 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, excuse me, to come up with something to show. It would be, but we do have it. And I'm trying to think, I'm sure there was something sent out about it, but again, I'm like the worst person to ask these questions for, because I just don't remember what's in now and what's not and what have you. But the reason why PVC cloning and snapshot got into this workshop is because that's what's next, is doing disaster recovery stuff. But definitely think about backing up the namespace, backing up everything you need, not just this data with this Postgres database. What else do you need? Well, you need a bunch of stuff. And as usual, Red Hat's doing it's a platform, right? So it's going to be bring your own backup system, but plug into a platform that allows you to kind of mix and match and configure things as you need. So I will plot an office hour on that. That's definitely a new feature for sure. So, and you know what, if one of my guys is on and wants to send a link towards like the publicly available information, that would be great. I'm sure we have something up about it. I'm never, the marketing stuff, I don't know where it is. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. So, did that help answer the question?
It does. And if it didn't, please let me know. SS Miller says, pretty exciting. I'm really hoping to find a good distributed storage option for my home lab. I was a little worried about Ceph being more complex than I want it to be, but this is changing my mind. And then there's a question about, is there a comparison between the Ceph operator and Rancher's Longhorn? And it's more like Rook versus Longhorn, I think is the right comparison there, not necessarily Ceph, because that's the back end. But Rook is a fully graduated CNCF project, I believe, where Longhorn I think incubating or sandbox, I forget.
I don't know anything about Longhorn, so that would be an interesting conversation. I'd like to know more.
But if you're, essentially it is, use what works best for you, right? Like that's what I try to tell people. Yes, we're Red Hat, we want to sell you OCS, but if you're tinkering around in your home lab, use what's best for you. Don't jump through 1,000 hoops. Ceph, I think, is great, as it is just robust and feature rich, right? Is like the best.
It's feature rich, it's mature. It's like, it's interesting because the more I work with it, the less. Obviously, but it's not as complicated as you think. Actually, like it's I don't know. Maybe that's familiarity, but I'm like, oh, this isn't. I used to feel it was like this big beast, and it was like, oh my God, you have to install it. It's like all these parts, and now I'm like, it's really not that big a deal. But I am also working typically with very uniform hardware, things like that, kind of make it easier. I don't know. Do you feel that way, Chris? Like you're doing the stuff on your home lab, and you're like, okay, 7
when I'm doing stuff in my home
machine.
lab, I'm usually like struggling through like various, capacity constraints and such. So
okay,
like
so you'd have that no matter what.
Right. Like, yeah, if I could somehow just afford like to have some OCS instance out in the cloud somewhere, I would do it, but no.
Right.
I'm not.
So I don't know, but the team talks about cooking a lot, and I always feel like stuff to me is like slow cooking. Set it and forget it. That's how it feels. Yeah. Like until I get an alert that I'm out of capacity, I don't really worry about it. It manages itself. Yeah. It's like a slow cooker. Set it and forget it, and then you have dinner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where am I? Am I here? Hang on.
Where are
you? Show you. Okay, so this part here, get the CSI volume. That's a nugget of information. Don't forget that. Okay, here we're getting more information about the RBD image. Again, this is all so you can see what's happening underneath. we're not really doing anything right now. So I don't think it's very interesting to look at it right at this moment, but this is just, it's there. You can see it. Again, publicly available, good nuggets of information you're going to need. Okay. Right. Here we are expanding on, oh wow, I haven't done this one in a while. All right, so we're going to go through the steps to expand a PVC if everybody's interested.
I'm interested.
Okay, so we're going to fill it up. Here we go. This is literally like we're just gonna.
This is the fill up your disk command.
The fill up. Yes, this is the fill up your disk command in case you ever need it. Okay, so we have some similar output. We go on. Here we go. Blah blah blah. Don't you wish your whole world was just click on the arrow? Click on
I so wish.
All right, example output. It's doing its stuff.
So Mummy Leap says, I am using vanilla Rook operator with Ceph in my home lab. It's super easy and stable. So go with OCS4. Longhorn was a little bit of a pain when I used it, had some bugs, etc. Not the best performance. Interesting. Okay, thank you, Mummy, for that. Appreciate that.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. No, I thoroughly love it when the audience engages and helps each other out, right? Like that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Help everybody.
Okay. Did we so again I have to move my little, you know how like
the screen share.
Oh, there you go. You're up at the top now. Yeah, it's in the way. Okay. Yep. Here we go. Fill up.
It looks full. Is it full?
Enough to generate full-ish. There we go. We just want to make sure we get some alerts and what have you going on. Okay. All right. So here we go. So we're full. And now, so do you want to do this? So just so everybody knows, in the workshop, we flip a lot between the console and the command line. I can't think of anything that can't be done from the command line, but for the purposes of showing, it's nice to see. We'll go back to the console itself, but you can do this from the command line.
The console is kind of like the proof that you did the thing right, kind of deal.
Yeah, and it looks kind of nice and all this. Okay, so
it is very pretty, yes.
All right. Oh, by the way, we can do an alert. That's all. That's what they're showing here. They're doing this alert. There should be, if it hasn't popped up yet, it'll be here soon. Yeah. Ta-da! The alert system. There it is. It works. Good job. It is. Warning, happy alert.
Warning.
Exactly. Okay, so here we go. Let's do this. Oops. There we go. Blah blah blah. All right. Okay. Let's edit this file. So I dumped out the PVC. I also do edits like on the fly, but we can do it this way. Either way, whatever makes you happy. Okay, what are we looking for? 5G. All right. Yep. So the idea behind this is that you're just going to expand the PVC. Like you go in and actually make it bigger, and then you're going to watch it actually grow, right? So I don't have capacity constraints in my lab. Like some people do at home. Just putting that out there.
Just saying, hey,
make it 100 gig, doesn't matter, a couple of terabytes, whatever. Okay.
You know what I need to do is just get like one of those Synology things and just hook it up and let it go. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Did I do it right? Did I get a typo? Yep. Blah blah blah. I applied it. Did I apply it? Is that the last thing I did?
Well, if you describe it and it doesn't describe correctly. Yeah, you did. Okay.
Hang on. Now look, like my font's so big, I have to like back up from my screen here. Okay, waiting for volume to be created. This is I'm gonna hang on a second.
Ooh.
Let's do that so I can see. Okay, hang on. Here, external expanding. PVC didn't find a public cable expanding, waiting for an external controller. We're waiting. I'm going to check on, just do this the way the lab wants us to do it. Let's look at this. See, now nothing's going right.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. We're back. Little internet hiccup.
Screen sharing still?
Yeah.
Do I need to reshare?
No, you're good. You're good. It's just on the streaming rig is where it broke.
Okay, so while it was broken, I just looked at that PVC again to show, and what I'm looking for is my change took up here in the spec, but it's in the status, so it's happened. So let's see. Let's go back to our describe, even though it's really hard to see out of here. Just goes on and on there. Yep. This is sample output in over here on this side in this middle column here. Let's do it this way. There you go. That's the easy way to see it.
Okay, what are we looking at? Just to level.
Okay, so hang on. So, right, sorry. We expanded the PVC from 5 gig to 10.
Mm-hmm.
We watched it, waiting for it to expand, and then we verified expansion. So when we did this the first time, this was at 5 gig. It's now at 10 gig. So I didn't do anything to the underlying volume. I just went into the PVC and said.
And what was the command to expand it? Can you just like?
Well, so you can. There are a couple of ways. Yeah, you can do this. You can dump it out and edit the PVC and then YAML file and then apply it.
Apply it back in.
I think. Yeah, I always thought I did. Don't I do an edit like right?
You could do an OC edit PVC.
Yeah, like I think there are a few ways you can do this. So, but whatever.
Yeah.
Blah blah.
Well, ooh, that's just a client.
Sorry.
There it is.
There it is. So I can do this too if I wanted to, right?
So yeah,
and then
you can either dump it out as its own YAML, edit it,
either way,
save it to your repo because that's an artifact, and apply it, or you can just straight up edit it in place if you don't necessarily need the artifact, right? Yeah.
Right. So and then okay, hang on. So this is current allocated size can be checked this way, etc. So lots of ways to check it.
Lots of
right.
Ways to check,
You can just go back and just look at get the PVC and the information is right there. So hang on a second. Is there? Oh, look, it can be checked this way. It can be checked that way. So it's flexible, so it's good to know.
It's very much 10 gigs. Okay, it was 5. Now it's 10.
It's definitely 10. Okay. All right. So like I said before, we do this here on the command line. You can do it in the console. I'll just show you. I don't think we actually have to do it, but if you want to do it in the console, if you're a console kind of person, you can do it. You can go here to your PVCs and hang on. Let's just do all projects for a second. Here's our Postgres one from our My Database app. Here you go. Where is it? Expand PVC. There it is.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Same thing. I mean, it's really easy. Right? So, no, but it falls in line with all of the other kind of stuff we're doing. So I'm not going to actually change it because you just wanted to show you that we can change it. Oh, notice. Okay, this little fire symbol.
Yeah, you can't shrink them. It's just like the old days with like partitions on like Windows boxes, right? Like it's unshrinkable. Once you expand it, that's what you're stuck with.
That's what you're stuck with.
You can create a new one and point it to that and then you need to shrink it. But yeah.
Right, exactly. That would be the way you would do a nice cleanup if you had to. So this goes on through all of that. It talks about it. It does the expansion. We don't actually need to do it because we kind of did it. Can I move on to the next section? Do we have any questions?
No, but JP Data is asking me if I could expense an OC12 connection to my house. That would be nice. Yes, it would be nice, but sadly, I have very few providers where I'm at, and getting fiber here would be really, really hard. So yeah,
it's a good question though. You could have a whole show about that.
Like I know. Tell me about it. Like, yeah.
So can I move on to Ceph FS volumes? Let's do it. Let's just go through it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we're gonna do RWX. And again, I don't have an eye on the time, but it would be nice to get to snapshotting stuff like that. So let's just go through this for a second. So all right, this should be kind of fast. All right, so here we are moving on. Again, I'm not typing because I'm just going to mess up the typing. We're going to do another app. Do I remember this one? No, I don't actually. Let's see what it's got for us. The file uploader. Sure. Okay, here we go. This is same kind of thing. We create the new project. We apply this. We're here again. Is this one in? No, it's not in our actual training repo, but here we have a nice little PHP uploader demo. We'll upload some stuff. You'll see.
Oh, that's from Christian Hernandez. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's all in the family. There you go. Yeah. Ta-da! Like there, we're watching it happen. This just takes a few minutes.
Copy, store, sign. Yeah.
Copy, store. Here we go. Something similar over here. Okay, we're just gonna wait till it kind of does its thing.
Watching paint dry.
We're
But no, it's
watching.
actually better than watching paint dry. People are
It is
asking me if I
actually.
could get like a dedicated connection here, and it's like,
Well,
well, I
no.
could, but I don't know if we're
Have
gonna
you
have the pay
explored,
for
have you
that.
explored all your options? Like,
I
do you
have
feel at this
literally
point?
explored all my options.
Yeah.
Once we get past this current like business level setup, it is like I need to buy routers and firewalls and all kinds like ubiquity expensive type stuff. And
Get like a cooling cabinet.
yeah, exactly. Right. Like I would need a rack and everything. And like
Right.
I'm not going to do that until I have a place to put it. And my basement is being finished right now, which is why I'm in this office, which is probably why I'm having,
Oh.
the internet hiccup to begin with. Even though I'm hardwired across a few hops down to the basement and around the corner to the grandma's house kind of deal. But it's it's really weird. Like if I get a slight internet blip here in the office, for whatever reason on the streaming rig, Zoom goes away. Like it's still streaming, but Zoom just cuts off. And it's like, why? Why would my internet connection affect another computer in a data center somewhere? I don't know. It's weird, but whatever. Something to troubleshoot for sure.
Something to show. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna get through this, but that's actually, if you have a show on that, let me know, because I'd like to hear how you have it. My current setup. Okay. So we're just, honestly, all we're doing here is setting up the rest of the file loader stuff, right? So here we go. What did we do? We exposed the service and we're scaling it up, and then we're going to watch it for a second. This to me, this is just setup. So hang on. We wait again for the paint to dry.
Creating.
Yeah.
You could do a watch on that if you wanted, but
I can, but I'm lazy. Let's see what's happening next. Okay. 3 file.
Never attempt to store persistent data in a pod. This is very, like, this warning right here is very salient. Don't put persistent data in a pod. Why? Because when the pod goes away, so does the data. So
for some reason, it reminded me of like, right. But it also reminds me like that, never put anything smaller than your elbow in your ear. Did you grow up with that one?
No.
No, also good,
smaller
good
than
advice.
your elbow. That is good advice.
Never store persistent data.
I was not one of those kids that had problems sticking stuff in their ear, but yeah. I'll keep that in mind for the 5-year-old running around right now.
This is a good warning right there.
Yes.
Okay, so
all
this
right.
is why we have persistent volume. Okay, all running. Here we go. Okay, so you can create a persistent volume claim and attach it into the application with the OCS4 volume command. So you're kind of just seeing us do things differently. These are just different approaches, right? So, but again, it's the same thing. We're setting up an app where it's going to have a PVC, and then we're going to watch things happen with storage. That's really what's happening on the underside here. So if you want, we can look more closely here. We give it a name. We give it the claim mode. Like we're just filling in all the options for the PVC right there on the command line. That's one way to do it, right? As opposed to sticking it in a file and applying it, whatever your preference is. So we are bound, and we're bound to the CephFS storage class. Okay, cool. That makes me happy. All right. So the things to notice, you're going to notice the access mode is RWX. The other one was RWO, and we're just sort of, this is taking you through the paces of the different access modes and capacity, right? So that's what your storage classes are kind of all about. Like, so your PVC, I keep this in my head because it's a nice analogy. When you think about PVs and PVCs and then up to storage classes, it's similar to, and you can make this a better analogy if you have something. So nodes and PVs are similar, right? And then the way you would want to request them, like on this side for a pod, you would have like memory and CPU, but for a PVC, you're going to talk access mode and capacity. But then up from that, in storage, you have more requirements than that. You may want it to be on a particular type of storage class that you've set up that's got like A, B, and C, and this storage class is cheaper or something like that, and this one's not as cheap and much faster, or whatever your other additional constraints are. It's not sufficient to say I need this size and I need it to be in this access mode. You need to claim more information about it, and that's where the storage classes come in. So these 2 exercises are really just about working with them and what okay, you're going to do Postgres, so it's going to be RWO, and this is why, and then you're going to do many you're going to read, so you can do RWX, blah, blah, blah. That's it. So it's nice, it's useful, and it's available. Okay, here's the route to this. Any questions? before I go look at this? This one's
like chat went
yeah.
quiet after we
like
had our blip, and that's a little concerning.
Maybe we lost them all. Oh no.
Well,
okay,
no,
hang
the
on a
stream
second.
was still going, but it was just dark for a second. So
okay, hang on. All right, file uploader. Da, 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 da.
Okay, then where did
I'll
this
choose
come
something
from?
From my
This is from your app?
Yes. So I'm
Okay.
sorry, my bad. Here, look.
Yeah,
Here's the route.
explain
So this
that.
little PHP file uploader. We set it all up. It's got its PVC. It's got its PV. It's happy. Let's go look at it. So we got the route to it, which is right down here. And want to upload something. Let's go upload something. Da, 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 just to see. I'll choose something. Oh, this was some sort of bird of prey that was across the street.
Okay. Nice.
All kinds of interesting stuff. Ta-da! So we can list the uploaded files. You'll see it there, et cetera, et cetera. Just to show you.
What kind of bird is that?
I don't know, but
that is a really
not afraid of us.
Bird. Yeah, clearly,
It was eating a frozen squirrel. Was really definitely bird of prey. Big.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Hope your kids aren't watching, folks.
It was really shocking, actually. Like, oh my God.
I was about to say, wow, that's crazy.
The wilderness is moving in.
Anyway. We don't see stuff like that here in the States. Just saying. No, I'm joking. I don't know. I'm sure there happens in North and South Dakota all the time, but
we have like
not here in Michigan. That's a first.
Anyway, so this again, it's just to show you that this is how, with this kind of app and this kind of access mode, this is how this would look. This is how this would flow. This is how you expand the PVC on it. Here we go. It's currently the size of this PVC is 1 gig. Did I click it? I clicked it. Okay, we patched it. And now so again, another way. So we've seen it. We can edit the PVC directly. We can dump it out to a file to edit it and apply it. We can go into the web console under storage, persistent volume claims, and expand it. Or we can do something like this where we patch the PVC. It's all the same thing, just lots of different ways to do it. So you can imagine doing something like this. If you needed to automate something based on an alert, you want to make sure the claim grows when you reach a certain percentage or threshold or something. This is along the lines of what you would do. So handy dandy stuff. 5 gig. So we grew. We were 1 gig. We grew to 5 gig. Here, capacity you see here was 1 gig. We're now 5 gig. That's also. I mean, it's better when you do it. So I encourage everyone to kind of reach out and come do a workshop and take your time and go through it. There we go. What is this? Oh, let's see. Repeat both commands until output values are identical. Ours are identical. It caught up already. And reducing the size of a Ceph PVC is not supported. You can't shrink, basically. All right. Do we have time to do?
Yeah, we got 12 minutes.
Okay, 12 minutes. Let's do it. All right. I'm not going to read all of this because we only have 12 minutes, but let's get right into PVC claims. So I don't know if you noticed back here, where was it? Postgres down here. We're on persistent volume claims, looking at Postgres. Look at that. Create snapshot, clone PVC. It doesn't get that much easier.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, it's there. Like if you want to do it that way, you can. But I want to follow the workshop, but just so you know, in case we don't actually get to that piece. Okay. So let me just follow exactly what you just. Okay. We already created the PVC for Postgres SQL. That's done. And we expanded it. That was just expanded to 15 gig. I think we actually expanded it to only 10, but that's okay. Make sure you've done that section. We did that section. So this was section 3, actually, and we've already done that, right? So we have our volume, we have our PVC, we have an app that uses it. So here we go. Yep, it's called Postgres. Here we go. Before creating the PVC claim, make sure to create and save at least 1 new article. So there is new data. All right, so let's go back to that. Let's see. That was not there, not there, not there, not there. No, that's not it. Hang on a second. I am again going to move this. Ta-da. Okay. Do we want to do, let's see, new article, SS2, blah, 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 blah. We put in something new. We're happy with that. Okay. Done. We did this piece. Before we creating the PVC claim, make sure to create and save at least 1 new article. We did that. Okay, so that's the route. We don't need to do that because I just went to it and I put in something new.
Yep.
Okay, we did all that before. They're just walking through it in case you need it. All right, to protect the data, the articles in this PVC, we will now clone this PVC. All right.
Awesome.
So we can do it from the console. We can do it through the YAML. Let's do it through the YAML.
I like that you choose the YAML route.
Well, and yeah, I think,
and
that one's going to be pretty clear. Like
right. Like it's changing a number, right?
Yes.
Like,
okay. Yeah. So we go through blah, blah, blah.
A reminder just popped up on your screen, by the way.
Probably for some, okay, thank you.
Sorry, I just didn't want that to be there for everybody else to see.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, now create the clone. So the shows, let me just make sure I don't screw this up. Hang on a second. Do the same operation in the, or by creating a resource via YAML file. Does she want us to, no, we're not copying this. Hang on, and volume claim, cloning PVC, the size, okay. The size is grayed out. All right. Let me, okay. Fine, I'll do it this way.
No.
That way I won't screw it up.
Go back, scroll down.
Oh, okay.
It was there. I saw it. Now create a PVC for Postgres. Yeah, create that clone.
Oh, hold on, but does this exist? Let's make sure that file is there. Yes, okay, there we go. All right, you want to look at it?
Look at that file real quick.
Yeah.
Look at the file.
Okay. Oh, okay. So it is.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
It is, and it is. We didn't do 15 though. I think let's change that to 10 to what we had. It's going to be the same size. When we did it, I think I only did 10. We can check, but let's just do it. Got to break something. Come on, we only have a few minutes left.
Let's slowly break something.
Okay, it's created. All right, now check to see there's a new PVC. Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Rep clone. All right.
Rep clone. Nothing new happening there. And you can also check the new
seconds.
clone. Okay. Wow, was that it?
Let's go look at the web console.
That's really kind of it. Yeah. Wow. I thought we'd have like more. Okay, so hang on. We're gonna search by Postgres. Yep. Ta-da!
Main and your clone.
That was a little easy.
What's weird is there's no usage being reported. How does that
okay,
use data part?
No, it's coming. It's coming. All right. Or did we do all we were supposed to do? I think we did. So then we do.
Now it's talking about recovery.
So look at this. Isn't that interesting? So there's none here either. If you look at this image, that is interesting.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
Hit refresh. Just out of curiosity. Okay. Weird. I wonder if you have to do another write for it to kick in or something. Maybe. I don't know.
That is interesting. I'll go bug someone.
Is the clone synced automatically? That's what we're trying to figure out, I think.
Well, so yeah, and also why wouldn't it show usage, right? And it should match, right? But
it should match.
Okay, so
you would think it'd be one.
That's a good question. Yeah, let me ask about that.
We'll take that one back.
Yeah.
And
so we go on. This goes on, and actually, okay, so like, yeah, I wonder. So in the rest of this, if we have time, we actually, I think we scale down the app, drop the original PVC and put the clone in its place, and then bring it back up or something along those lines. So let's see what we do here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to corrupt the database. We get to corrupt something that makes me happy. Following command. All right. It's going to print all the tables. It's going to delete some article tables. Okay. And after the okay, we're ready. Corruption happening.
Make it happen.
Now. Ta-da. Okay. Rawr. This is fun. We broke something. Good. Okay, now back to the browser tab where you created your article using this link. Okay, so I'm back in my browser tab and all right, so let's see the error. Yes, perfect. It's good when it's planned, right? When these things, as long as we're planning. Okay, remember the PVC clone is an exact duplicate of the original PVC at the time the clone was created. So, okay, so therefore you can use Postgres clone to cover the data application. For this, you need to scale down to 0, right? So we scale down. We're happy. We verify the pod's gone. Yep. Wait. We're waiting. Hang on. So we corrupted the PV, we corrupted the database. We scaled, we already had a clone. We made our clone, corrupted the original. We're waiting for this to come down. It's now down. We scaled it down. And then we work our magic here. Okay. So now we have no result, right? This is true. You now need to patch the deployment for Postgres and modify to use the Postgres clone. So basically, we're going to change the PVC to now say, go use the clone. Don't use the original anymore. Okay, so let's just take a moment to look at this. Okay, so.
Okay. I did just look it up in the docs for what is happening.
Okay.
It is CSI volume cloning. So just for folks, just to let people know.
You looked up the usage
it does
part?
using the, well, I looked at I just looked at the docs to figure out how it was doing it. So it is using, the CSI volume cloning process as was asked in chat. So yeah.
Well, why wouldn't it show the usage? Okay, I'll go find out about usage.
I don't know.
All right, so here we go. So we're going to do this. Here's the switch, right? Here's the patch, right? Happening right now. It's patched. Okay, do you want to dissect this a little bit more? We're just going in and changing, replacing so previously, this path would have just had a value of, I think, just Postgres, right? That's what that original PVC was called. We're literally changing the name of it. That's all that's happening, because we've already done our clone and we're already happy. Okay, so now we're going to scale it back up. And then we're going to watch it. Give it a second.
Whatever it needs. I'm here for it.
Ta-da. Okay, so we go back to here, and we should.
Hey.
It worked.
Yay.
Yay. So, I mean, in a way, this was a lot. Like each one of these, you could really spend more time with. Like, I just wanted to show that it's there. These training docs are out there. If you've got a cluster at home and you want to try some stuff out, you should. Did you lose me? Am I still on?
No, you're still here.
Okay, because I got, like when the thingy comes down, I'm like, did something happen? Anyway, so I'm just trying to this is like a teaser, really. I'm trying to show people like, hey, you can go do this yourself. You can certainly contact us and we can do a workshop so you can kind of get in there and try things out, right? So can
you drop the link to the training and the Zoom chat so I can pass it forward?
Absolutely.
Again?
Absolutely. I'll start up at the top. There's plenty more in here. I just showed kind of like the highlights of OCS4, but tons. And by all means, look at the other stuff too. So hang on a second. All right. So let me get to my chat. Give me a second. Okay. Are there any questions?
Are there any questions? That is a good question. I mean, there was a question about CSI native cloning. I think we answered that. Moni, let me know if that doc isn't good enough for you.
Also, the training gets updated as things come on. This is
constantly
living document. Yeah. That's good stuff. And if you have, we're always open to ideas for new things. Like if there's something you really want to see in training, by all means, let us know.
If there's some example or something, absolutely.
Yeah.
Feel free to reach out to me, cshort@redhat.com. I'm going to try and get a different alias for, just easiness. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Okay. How much can I do a shameless plug here? So
shamelessly plug away. You have an entire minute.
Okay. So for this minute, just so you know, I recently worked on Section 7. So I'm interested in people seeing that. It uses a new photo album demo created by a wonderful teammate, and it's just there's tons of stuff in here. Like you want to add more storage to your Ceph cluster, it's all there for you. It should just be something you guys to use, and suggestions and more topics are always welcome. So
absolutely.
Next time I'm going to try and get this migration going. I'd like to do a live migration so people can see what it looks like to come off of Gluster and to start using Ceph and see what kind of tools we have.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Hopefully someone from the MTC team can join us.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining us. Up next on the channel at noon Eastern, what is it, UTC 1700 UTC is DevNation the show. Check it out. It's my buddy Sebi. He loves to do some shenanigans and some OpenShift. So yeah, it's pretty fun show. So yeah, stick around for that. And until next time, thank you, Michelle. Thank you to the audience for engaging and asking questions. And if you need anything, I am at Chris Short on Twitter with 2 S's and cshort@redhat.com, and I can get your questions answered as best I can. And without further ado, that is all we have for today. Thank you, Michelle. This was great.
Thank you.
Have a good one, everybody. Take it easy.